We now join our host live from the WIMG studios.
In the public interest, I'm your host, Jacque Howard. You're listening to us live over WIMG 1300 AM. If you're watching on television, it's via WPHY, Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey, and streaming over the internet, WIMG1300.com, and also suggest that you like us and follow us on Facebook and Twitter, WIMG 1300. We've got a lot to cover in these 30 minutes or so. So I've got two friends who make up that mix of people I'm always talking about, who we need to encourage to come to the city of Trenton and other post-industrial cities to do really positive things. So we've got Hera Mir here. Hi, Hera. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Awesome. And Dan, welcome to the program. It's Segmans, right?
Yes.
All right. I always get tied up with the pronunciation of his last name. Dan Segmans, welcome to the program as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. So first, let's talk about where you guys live, and then we'll get into a little bit about your history and how that all morphed together. Hera, you can go first. Ladies first.
So we live at the Bethany House of Hospitality in Trenton, New Jersey. It's on Hamilton Ave, right next to the former Bethany Church. And it's an intentional community for young adults who are serving Trenton. I specifically work at a local nonprofit that serves Mercer County. It provides counseling to children who've been sexually abused. It's called PEI Kids, and I'm a Americorps Vista there, and that's how I serve Trenton.
Okay, and Hera, PEI Kids, what's the easiest way for our listening and viewing audience to gather some information about PEI Kids? What's their website?
The website is www.peikids.org. If you want to remember that, it's prevention, education, intervention for kids. And we also have a Facebook page, PEI Kids New Jersey. So yeah, you can look us up everywhere on the net.
Great. And Dan, what about you?
I'm working at the College of New Jersey as an Americorps Vista, and my position is specifically to help to foster volunteerism in the city through various volunteer service projects. Specifically, I'm working on an initiative called Second Saturdays of Service. And that's it happens every second Saturday, and it works to bring out volunteers in the city to work on beautification projects, environmental conservation projects, anything for the betterment of the city is what we're all about. So.
Great. And Dan, you're Americorps as well.
Yes.
Okay. Now, where did you grow up? Where's your hometown?
I grew up in Percy, Pennsylvania, which is just across the river. Basically, it's an hour away from Trenton, but it's in Bucks County, which is right across the river. I grew up in Upper Bucks County, which is more of a rural area, but have been interested in urban places ever since going to graduating from university last year.
Okay, great. And Hera, and yourself?
I grew up in Old Bridge, New Jersey,
Okay.
just an hour away. And I studied women and gender studies at Rutgers in New Brunswick. So after graduating, I applied for Americorps, and it brought me to Trenton.
And so both of you guys are here in Trenton. Both of you are living in a Bethany House of Hospitality, and you're both serving in the immediate Trenton region, I like to say, not just Trenton itself, because you touch all different areas, because Trenton is so connected to Hamilton and Lawrence and Ewing and so forth. So it's good that you guys are all doing that. What are some what are the reasons why you're here in Trenton? I mean, you guys are young, you're ambitious, you just got done school. You could have gone anywhere. You could have gone anywhere for work or to further your education. What made you want to choose Trenton? Hera, you first.
It was really the organization, PEI Kids, and the work that they do. They work on providing prevention of child sexual abuse, and that's a topic that I feel like is really silenced in our society. We have 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men reporting that when they were children, they experienced sexual abuse. That's a staggering number right there, right? That's 25% of women in this country. So why is this a silence? What do we do about it? And I think it's an important issue to work on, and I am a lucky person to have been given the opportunity to, raise awareness, get people talking about this issue.
That's fantastic. And Dan, yourself?
After graduating, I wanted to do a year of service, and Americorps offered good opportunities for that, and I wanted to kind of jump into the nonprofit field, and beyond that, I wanted to get into the Philadelphia metropolitan area because that's where my family's kind of from. That's the area that I'm interested in. So I started applying all around to different locations in the Philadelphia area, and this location at the College of New Jersey replied back and were interested in me. So I took the position because it had a lot to do with environmental conservation work and education and things like that. So.
Okay, well, great. That's good. Okay, folks, I want to say that you're listening to WIMG 1300 AM, WIMG1300.com. You can find us and like us on Facebook and Twitter. WIMG 1300. The name of the program is Today's Topic on Trenton Talks in the Public Interest. I'm Jacque Howard, your host. I'm speaking with Hera Mir and Dan Segmans, who are both residents at the Bethany House of Hospitality and who are serving in the immediate Trenton region in various different ways, but mainly trying to get information out to the public and bring people together for volunteerism and getting to build a better and stronger community. So, Harry, you've got some interest in videography, filmmaking, etc. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I can talk a little bit. I don't have much experience. I have interest. I think I would love to expand on it. So, in college, I was involved in a program which gave me the opportunity to make a short documentary after interviewing a woman leader who I looked up to. And I got the chance to interview Mahnaz Afkhami, who's the former women's minister in Iran before the revolution. And she's now in Washington, D.C. because she was exiled after the revolution, basically, because of the work she did. So I got some time to interview her, and then after that I edited basically a documentary about her work, her life, and her passion. It's a short documentary, and that's where, I got my start.
Now, where can anyone see this documentary?
Where can they see it? It is online through, I'm sure they can find it through the program I was with, through their webpage. It's called IWL, Institute for Women's Leadership at Rutgers, and their website is iwl.rutgers.edu.
Excellent. And I'm going to repeat that again, folks. One more time, it's iwl.rutgers.edu, and it's a documentary that you worked on editing. And what was the subject matter? What was her name?
Mahnaz Afkhami. She was a former women's minister in Iran.
Okay, and I will not be able to pronounce her name, so I do not want to embarrass myself or her name. I wouldn't want to do that. Dan, you've got some interest outside of what's going on in the Bethany House of Hospitality as well. Talk about some of the things that you're working on.
Beyond my work at TCNJ, I'm interested in everything related to urban revitalization and sustainability. So I've been doing some work for Sustainable Jersey, working on some of their actions, green team actions. So that also includes work with the Trenton Green Team. So the Trenton Green Team works to create a more sustainable community in Trenton through improvements in government and improvements in policy and things like that. So that's kind of a side project from what I'm working on directly with Americorps.
Okay, now for more information, how can the listening and viewing audience get more information about the Bethany House of Hospitality and some of the other projects and initiatives that the two of you are working on?
I think the best way for them to get that information and really the vibe of our community is through our blog. It's Bethany, HOH.wordpress.com. It's updated by the residents. I've done a few blog posts. Other residents have done a few blog posts, and it's about our Vespers that we have every week that I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. It's about our day, it's about our life, about our experiences basically at Bethany House, and they can really learn more there.
Okay, and so folks, I'm going to read a little bit. I also want to apologize and say that Pastor Karen Hernandez could not be here, so I'm substituting for her. But I want to give a shout out to her husband, Michael, who had a biking accident. Michael, get well soon, and wear a helmet next time. for all the bikers out there. But the Bethany House of Hospitality started as an initiative between the Nassau Presbyterian Church, the Cousins Foundation out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the Urban Mission Cabinet Critical Fund. We brought some funds together, and we took the house that was the manse, or the home that the pastor lived in at Bethany Presbyterian Church, Alice Bajani, after she died. And a group of people got together, and we did a cleanup there, and several different churches and community organizations. And Wayne Meisel, who is a local community organizer, activist, reverend. He's not just local. I'm going to say Wayne is straight up national with his ability and his exposure. And he came with this idea and said, hey, community houses of hospitality, intentional communities is going to be the wave of the future for how young people are going to get together, how they're going to come together, how they're going to discover their spirituality and so forth. And lo and behold, I was fortunate enough to be a part of that group that he traveled to a couple of sites, and it morphed into this wonderful house where there's lots of different things going on, and there's lots of different wonderful young adults who are coming in, who are doing all kinds of fantastic things, not only in the region, but after they leave, they go on to do other things as well, and they keep up. So there's this nice little tight bond in this network. Every year in September, it sort of rolls over. New residents are coming in. Do you guys know the information about the application process? Like, if anyone would like to learn more about it, what's the best way for them to do that as well?
They should get in touch with Pastor Karen Hernandez. Her Jacque, if you have her email, I would give that out. That's the best way for applicants to get in touch for applying to be at the Bethany House or living there.
And it would also be good for people to go to, again, the Bethany, BETHANYHOH.wordpress.com. You can find out all kinds of information about the Bethany House of Hospitality. You can read things from the residents and find out exactly what they're doing, some of their projects, and from their exact perspective. So, Dan, let's talk a little bit about a second Saturdays of Service project that you have coming up. We've got about 2 minutes or so. We'll talk about it after the break as well. But let's talk a little bit about your project that you're heading up this Saturday that's coming up.
Okay. So first, the second Saturdays of Service in general was set up in March. And basically, I've been working with civic associations, nonprofits, groups around the city that are interested in the betterment of Trenton. So we've done a lot of cleanup projects, sustainability projects, and things like that. I can talk about the particular project for this weekend, if you want me to.
Well, let's hold off on talking about that after the break, because that's going to lead into another event that's taking place. But some of the other projects that you've worked on, I know you've done cleanup with the Old Mill Hill Society, the Historical Society of Trenton. Talk about those projects in the next minute or so, and then after the break, we'll get into the specifics about gardening with Gandhi.
Well, we've been trying to bring out the mentoring groups of the city, other youth networks, youth volunteers in general, to try to engage them in common responsibility for the city, because this is it's viewed as a key educational component. It's part of the Bonner Center at TCNJ. It's kind of their philosophy is to engage people in service learning for the betterment of the community. So these past projects have been cleanups. I did one with Old Mill Hill Society. We did Mill Hill Park and Assunpink Creek. We did one along the island and at Stacy Park, which runs the entire length of the island community. Basically, anybody who reached out to me and said, "Hey, come to my community and let's do something together." We've done something so far. So it's been going since March. Had one every month, and we plan to have one every month until December when I leave, and then maybe be continuing beyond that once I leave.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we want to be sustainable. Well, we're just about up on a break, and folks, I want to share a couple of things with you. Houlihan's of Lawrence Township, located Houlihan's of Princeton on Route 1, has been working with the Trenton 365 show, which I'm the host of. And the first person to make a post onto the WIMG Facebook page that says the Trenton 365 show will receive a gift card. This gift card from Hula Hands Princeton is good for one of these three things: $5 off, $10 off, or free Hula Hands for a year. Our guests will actually receive those as well. So the first person to go to the WIMG Facebook page and post something about the Trenton 365 show will win a Hula Hands gift card. And before we get to that, I'd like to say we're talking with Dan Segmans and Hera Mir. Both are from the Bethany House of Hospitality. They are Americorps. They are serving in Trenton in a volunteer capacity. And you're listening to In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks, WIMG 1300. We'll see you after the break.
What makes a Yankee fan a happy Yankee? How about a Trenton Thunder ticket plan that includes 2 fireworks nights and 3 awesome giveaway nights, including a Robinson Cano bobblehead night? The Happy Yankee plan also includes free food, free drink, and a Trenton Thunder pint glass. All of this for only $55. The Happy Yankee mini plan allows guests to enjoy the same seats at 5 Thunder games throughout the summer. Happy Yankee and other mini plan holders always receive assurance from their personal Thunder ticket representative. Switching game days is a cinch by calling in advance without any fees. For information, call 609-394-3300 or go to TrentonThunder.com. 609-394-3300 or TrentonThunder.com. Trenton Thunder Baseball. Fun happens here.
Welcome back, friends, to WIMG 1300. The name of the program is In the Public Interest on today's topic, Trenton Talks. My name is Jacque Howard. I'm your host. You're listening to WIMG 1300 AM over the internet, WIMG1300.com. We can also be found on Facebook and Twitter, WIMG 1300. Just before the break, I was speaking with Hera Mir and Dan Segmans, who are both residents at the Bethany House of Hospitality in Trenton, and they are both Americorps. But I want to put in some information about an event that's going to be taking place this coming Saturday, July 13th, in addition to the one that Dan is going to be doing as well. But on Saturday evening, July 13th at 5 p.m. at Witherspoon Street Presbyterian Church in downtown Princeton at 5 p.m. There's a group that's going to have soprano Shannon Hunt, Ivan Woods, and pianist Diane Goldsmith, and they will present the power of African American music to inspire. Tickets are $25 and information 609-924-1666. The vocal ensemble Follow the Drinking Gourd will perform this concert to raise funds for a new piano at the Witherspoon Street Presbyterian Church. I'll say that again before the end of the show. So Dan, we were talking briefly about some of the projects that you have done. What is the project that you're going to be doing this coming Saturday?
This Saturday I'll be working with the Sage Coalition in downtown Trenton on East Hanover Street. They're an artist collective, and they do like monthly art shows and things like that. But besides that, they have a running project called the Gandhi Garden, which is part public park, part music venue, part whatever you want it to be. And it's an empty lot, or it was an empty lot, and they're turning it into a garden. And it's a project that's been going on for some time, since last fall, and it's coming together now, and we're kind of doing a last hurrah to try to get it done for the summer. And it has a number of projects going on. They're planning. They have a vegetable garden there. They have like a number of trees and things like that need to be planted, and it's just basically a public service project. And then at the end of the project, we'll have just kind of a nice lunch together and just hang out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you're looking for volunteers for this?
Yes.
Okay, and what time is the event going to take place, and what's the location?
It will start at 9 a.m. and will end at 12 at lunch. And the address is 223 East Hanover Street in Trenton. And it's right next to the 219 Gallery, which is Sage Coalition's home base, kind of. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And who are some of the other partners that will be working on this project or this initiative with you?
There's a few. There should be a few mentoring groups coming out to the event, and then beyond that, the Bonner Center is kind of helping to sponsor it a little bit, and then other like Sage Coalition's followers and their other volunteers that often come out to their events.
Mm-hmm. And it's also the Trenton Downtown Association
Yes.
works in conjunction with the Sage Coalition as well,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And so again, folks, on Saturday, July 13th, this coming Saturday, there's lots of things going on. You can come out in the morning from 9 to 12. Give whatever time you can. You don't have to come for the whole time. You can come for half an hour. Some tools will be there, correct?
Yep.
If you want to bring your tools, you can. If you want to make a donation of a plant or flowers or some building materials, I'm sure Graham Apgar and others at Sage Coalition would gladly take that. So again, this Saturday, it's called Gardening with Gandhi, and it takes place at the Gandhi Garden on 223 East Hanover Street in Trenton, New Jersey, Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Now, I know Will Casso, who is the director of the Sage Coalition, and all the other guys over there, Black Collar Biz, Graham Apgar, Wills Kinsley, Ahmad Shakur, all those guys, are really, really committed to revitalizing Trenton and specifically using their techniques, their talents, and their aesthetics, and they're doing a wonderful job. They're revitalizing that portion of the block. With Crisis Ministry on one corner and the Sage Coalition on the other, that block has completely changed in the last 2 years or so. But I wanted to say about the Gandhi Garden, just recently, I don't know how many people know about this, but Mahatma Gandhi's grandson was in Philadelphia giving at a speaking engagement and stopped by the garden with no fanfare, not letting anyone know. So he literally was just here in Trenton a couple of weeks back and took everyone by surprise who was there. But he heard about the garden and made it a point to come. So folks, there's a lot happening, and I've been saying this for years. There's a lot of things happening with urban agriculture, horticulture, and the arts here in the Trenton region. And just keep your eyes open because there's a lot of young people here. And when I say young, I mean younger than me, so they're in their 30s or less. They're here and they're doing a lot of wonderful things, and they're looking to engage other people and get people excited about it, as excited as they are. And most of the young people, they're coming to Trenton because they want to be in Trenton. I've heard it said on several occasions that Trenton is like what Brooklyn was 10 or 15 years ago. So there's a lot of activity here. So one more time, this Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, Gardening with Gandhi at 223 East Hanover Street. I will be there representing WIMG and a bunch of the other organizations I'm a part of, and you can come see me, and maybe I'll have a Hula Hands gift card for you if you ask for it when you get there. So Dan, thank you very much for that. Hera, what else do you have going on?
Well, I want to talk about what I work on at PEI Kids and the services that we offer, and one of them is adult educational workshops about preventing child sexual abuse. Now, every adult in the world has children in their lives, and everyone's concerned about taking care of them, protecting them. But because sexual abuse is such a silent issue, most people aren't aware of what the signs are of this kind of abuse, what to look for in children, what to look for in perpetrators. And most of the times when we see something that doesn't seem right, we turn away rather than confront because we're not sure. We don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but what we want to do with these workshops is to encourage people to be empowered with knowledge, and not be afraid to basically, confront someone, or if they suspect something, basically say something, and take the side of the child and not be afraid of hurting someone's feelings, basically. So we offer free workshops for organizations in Mercer County, for local groups in Mercer County, for churches, for schools, for teacher groups, for parents associations, anyone that's concerned about families and children. Free educational workshops with trainers from the Enough Abuse campaign, who come to your location at your time to present to your group about preventing sexual abuse, about recognizing the signs, and how to respond appropriately if something does happen. And we really encourage people to call PEI Kids at 609-695-3739 and find out more. See if they're applicable to getting these free workshops.
And those free workshops are it's an ongoing thing. It's not like a series. So it's pretty much someone could coordinate and set up a workshop on their time.
Yes, it really is that. We have 20 plus trainers basically who are passionate about this issue and dedicated to bringing this education to everyone in Mercer County. And they are flexible. They will, make themselves available to you whenever, you can get your group together for this presentation, this education. Especially those who work with children and care for children should know what to do.
And again, that contact information for PEI Kids is over the internet. I'm always stressing that. That's the wave of the future. Everyone has smartphones and devices. Folks, you got to get with it. PEIkids.org.
Yes.
And the telephone number is 609-695-3739. So you can go there and find out about the workshops, also about what the organization is doing, and you can do some volunteering with them as well, correct?
Yes. If you have a background with working with children and you want to become a trainer, you can become a volunteer community trainer and get trained in the Enough Abuse campaign curriculum, and then you will be one of the trainers on our team who goes out and spreads the word and the education and makes children safer in Mercer County.
That is great. Thank you very much, Hera. Dan, some contact information for the listening and viewing audience if they want to get in touch with you about Gardening with Gonding or any of your second Saturdays of service.
Yeah, you can call my office phone at 609-771-2527, or actually the better way to do it would be to email me at cosprojects@tcnj.edu.
Okay, and one more time, Dan.
The number is 609-771-2527 and cosprojects@tcnj.edu.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, both for being here. I look forward to spending more time with you guys, doing all the wonderful things at the Bethany House of Hospitality and the other things in Trenton. And if I have my way, you will be here going forward and raising some families here and so forth. Folks, before we end up the program, again, I want to give a plug to Diana Goldsmith and Beverly Owens of the Witherspoon Presbyterian Church in Princeton. This church is one of the oldest black churches in New Jersey. And on Saturday, July 13th, they're having a fundraiser concert at 5 p.m. For more information, you can contact 609-924-1666. And I'm sure if you Google Witherspoon Presbyterian Church, Princeton, New Jersey, you'll be able to get some information about not only the programming, but you can also get some information about the congregation and what they are doing and their history. But I can tell you in short that this event is going to be a vocal ensemble, Follow the Drinking Gourd, and they will perform this concert to raise money for a new church organ for the historic black church located at 112 Witherspoon Street. So for more information, call 609-924-1666. My name is Jacque Howard. You've been listening to today's topic on Trenton Talks in the Public Interest. WIMG1300.com, WIMG 1300 AM, Facebook and Twitter, WIMG 1300. Also, the Trenton 365 program heard Mondays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. will be more interviews like this, focusing on people in the community who are doing wonderful things and sharing ways for you to get in contact with them. Again, you're listening to WIMG 1300 AM, WIMG1300.com, Facebook and Twitter, WIMG 1300, and television WPHY, Channel 25 in Mercer County. Goodbye, friends.